with common goals in mind.
You get those neighborhoods in sync.
Exactly.
Absolutely correct.
The neighbors are, you live over there, so I don't care about you. I live over here, this is all I care about, is my little, one block area. And that's not gonna, if you look out at all the old manufacturing buildings that we have here in the city that are crumbling, that's not gonna solve the problem. It's just not gonna do it. We have to come together as a community and work from the inside out.
I'll agree 100%. Now, the priority boards have done some great things for the city. But you're right, we're going to have to work we're not going to work for the priority boards. We're going to work with the priority boards. And we're also going to show what a group of united residents can do within the city. Like I said, we're going to come up with some creative ways to bring jobs back into the area. And it's not going to happen overnight. When I leave town next week, I'm going back down to Jonesboro, sitting back down with the mayor again, sitting back down with the Chamber of Commerce again. I'm going to be meeting with some more plan officials about specifically why that they chose their area to begin with. What can we perhaps possibly do to improve and lure that business over here? Because that's how you get business in. You need to find out the reason why businesses left to begin with, why they just up and went. And you can't do that if you don't ask questions. And that's what we're going to do. Like I said, it won't be an overnight process, no guarantees, but you know what? It's a start. It's a place to begin. And I think we're on the right path for that. But if we just put the city before our own interest and actively seek out those businesses, I really do think in the long run that we can have a huge impact on luring industry, not just any jobs, but the right jobs back into our region. One thing that's also brought up to me has been the situation that exists with the homeless here in our city. Okay? Now, there have been so many, not just onesies and twosies, but families that have had their homes foreclosed that now find themselves out on the streets. Okay? And a lot of people have this mentality, oh, they're homeless, get away from me. No. They're residents of our city too. They have voices. What we're going to do when we begin work inside of our communities, we're going to work on taking a census at our homeless shelters so we exactly see what number of homeless people we have, not just a rough ballpark figure, but trying to get as close to the exact numbers we can get so that we can begin working on finding ways to help them. Because until you have close, I'm not talking a rough figure, but until you have numbers sitting in front of you, you really don't know exactly how many people for one you're dealing with and for what issues that they might have. We've been in talks with a company out of Utah. These green containers that came from Iraq that they used to house soldiers in, they bring them back to the States. A lot of times those containers, they're not green back. They just bring those containers back and they rust away. They don't go anywhere. But a company in Utah takes these containers, makes them green, makes them into houses, makes those into nice living spaces. And for a 25,000 square foot facility with basic heating and wiring, you can get that for $400,000. That would go a long ways towards housing homeless people. Now, you just wouldn't be opening another homeless shelter today. You would actually get the homeless residents of our city involved in this actual construction, actually putting it together. So one, you restore a sense of pride that they have in the city for working on it. They feel better about themselves knowing that they are doing something constructive. Now, granted, not every homeless person is going to want to do this, but there are families out there that would be willing and would love to help with such a project. To get this going, I've already had people send me emails, volunteers that have said they would love to come in and teach classes to our homeless residents. Perhaps they could use their higher education, their doctorate degrees that they have to help our homeless residents out and to help them find jobs, just like they do with the Westwood Center. Something that can be done all over there, not just there alone. But like I said, we've been in talks with them, and they have been gracious enough to continue to keep the channels of communication open with us. And I have some unique pictures from their facility and some of their centers that they have put up, which when I release all of our information on YouTube, I'm going to have that slideshow on there as well. It's just going to take people spreading the word of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. But it's going to take a positive attitude, first of all, and a willingness to get involved and not just sit back and say, oh, that's someone else's problem, let them handle it. Because it will not get corrected that way. It will get corrected when we become involved, when we actually take this city seriously, and we actually remain committed to doing something. And along the way, we will show other people what a bunch of Daytonians are capable of when we put our mind to it. Also spoke with Senator Miller a couple of weeks back. These efforts are being watched on a higher level as far as what we're able to accomplish inside of our city with real people coming together and working. And there is a possibility that if our efforts are successful, that they will help us take that fundraiser statewide. So that's big for us. That's no means a guarantee, but there's a good possibility on that. So we're keeping the channels of communication open, and that's what it takes. Everybody working together. Had a meeting with the Montgomery County Democratic Party the other day. Going back over there Monday to talk to them again, because it will take all political parties working together, not after their own agenda or their own piece of the pie. So, I mean, I think we're off to a good start. You've got so many great people here, I'm sure that have suggestions of what they want to see done differently in the city. And it's as easy as going to our website, letting us know what you would like to see done within your community, stepping up, sounding off, and letting your voice be heard. Because there's not very many people within this city that have had the opportunity to have their voice heard. And that's what we're going to do. Get in there, see what people want done, and work our hardest to bring it up and improve it. Mr. Whitten, what would you like to see done differently in our city, in your community?
I like to look at like the city as a whole. I'm blessed to live up off Linden. Our neighborhood's pretty nice for the most part. We got wonderful neighbors and stuff, which I want to start spreading the word around to Citizens for Change, because we all like step up for Gary Leitzel and gave him a lot of ideas and stuff while he was running. So I think they'd be real interested in this. But what I would like to see is like one of the things that I think is big, really would benefit from is doing more for, I'd sound like a broken record, but the small businesses. And because there's just something really neat about like 2nd Street Market that we have, and then if you've ever went to the Yellow Springs with that climate of little small mom and pop shops, it's a really neat experience, and it's a lot of really nice stuff. And if you can get the word out and get more people to see the nice stuff, spread it around, I think that would be one really good thing, at least for jobs too. That would help with that. Right now I'm unemployed and I'm going back to school. I think education is something too that I know there's not a whole lot we could do on a community level with that. But
you know that
it's
we'll have to work on it. You know, we'll have to come up with creative suggestions and creative ideas. And this won't be the only meeting that we have. We're going to have more meetings. When we get started in Westwood, first, like I said, the first portion of it will involve going door to door, talking with folks, letting people know, hey, we want to hear from you. Here's a community survey. Let us know what you want to see improved. Do that for a couple of days. Place out your signs for community adoption. The culmination of that first week-long effort inside that community with the culmination of the town hall meeting, where you invite more residents to come in. And then next town hall meeting, or next meeting, what we're going to do, we're going to have like potluck, like they do at church. People can come in, get to know one another. That way they just don't come here and just not limited to some water and stuff, but they can socialize inside of that community, get to know one another, and break down barriers that exist there. So that's one of our goals for when we get started in Westwood, but we're going to have these town hall meetings in each community so that we can speak to every resident before August of 2013. And it will happen. It's going to take a lot of hard work, and I plan for one, beating the streets 5 days a week.